The business.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? I am back for another live, and let me see what's up in this thing. Okay, let me turn this down. Trying to watch it and get this going at the same time. How y'all doing? Hopefully everybody out there is doing well. Doing good over here, man. And so, yeah, thank you guys for all tuning in. This is Henny's Hangout Live episode 2. And I want to, answer as many questions as I possibly can with the time frame that I have it. So, yeah, man, let's kick it off. Let's see what's happening. What's good from everybody? What's up to my, to all my folks out there? What's up, Brandon? Darielle, please, if I messed your name up, my bad. Yo, what's good with everybody? David, what's happening? Christopher, what's going on? Thank you guys all for tuning in. Yeah, man, the channel keeps growing and the opportunities keep getting bigger. So I appreciate everybody who's continued to support me in this channel. And let's just get to answering some questions. I'm trying to make sure I do this. Yeah, I got the laptop over here, making sure I can see that. I got the live chat jumping off over here to the right. And yeah, okay. First question, man. How do you start doing YouTube channel? How do you motivate yourself, especially when you have a full-time job and part-time school? Sometimes after all of this, you don't want to do anything. Yo, so Kijo Murad, I don't know if I said your name right. But when it comes to starting a YouTube channel, I mean, one of the biggest things you want to know that is what is your passion for it? What is your objective? You know, is it to show off, tech that you love, or is it, to show off a specific skill, whether it's in music or fashion or art or, whatever it is. The passion should drive you. So, if you have a full-time job and you also have school, can you figure out a way to do one video a week? Start there to be able to say, can I do one video a week talking about whatever it is that I'm super passionate about? Because I would not recommend anybody starting a YouTube channel unless they are 100% passionate about that thing that they want to talk about. Because, honestly, you'll stop. You won't go as hard because you might not see the return. You might not see the comments or the followers, the subscribers jump up, and you just got to keep going, and you just got to keep talking about what you're talking about until people start showing up. So if you can commit to doing that, and if it's something that you really love to do, you'll find the time, and yeah, you'll make that happen. All right, damn, the chat done jumped up. All right, let me go back. What's up to everybody? Man. Okay, Corian, how can upcoming producer, songwriter such as myself from Miami work with you and a producer like you for a day? Man, it would really just have to be based off of timing. And, people, always ask, how can I work with you? How can I build with you? How can I co-produce with you? How can I get in the studio with you, regardless of what it is? And, it starts with building that relationship. And I always tell people, for me, hit me up on the DMs, like on Instagram, and let's kind of start a conversation about who you are, what you're about, and seeing how we just collab just as people in general. Because if you can start a relationship from just the most organic place, then you can start to see how you can develop a strategy to work together. So that's how I would get at that. Yeah. Man, Christopher Kane, what do you think about Digital Performer as a DAW? I've never used Digital Performer, so I have no idea how that performs. If that's something that you love. See, here's the thing. When it comes to digital audio workstations, when it comes to devices, when it comes to any type of equipment that you want to use for music, use what makes you happy. Even when it comes to cameras or anything like that, like use what you want to continuously pick up, you want to continuously dive into, and what makes it convenient and happy for you to use. Because I believe any camera, DAW, phone, laptop, whatever it is that's going to get you the basically the type of things that you want to get done. As long as you're able to make sure that that thing keeps you pumped up, keeps you inspired, right? That's what you keep going back to. And if it doesn't, try something else until you find the one that does. Yeah, what's going ham right now? I'm trying to keep up. Hold on. Let me go back. Eric Beeson, what's up, homie? If you weren't producing or making videos, what else would you be doing? I don't know, man. I've been doing music since I was 18 and 38. And, and so I've been doing it for a long time. And I've loved, videos and cameras and stuff like that since I was a little kid. So I have no clue what I would be doing. And that's a blessed thing to be at, because I've kind of always known what I love to do, and I've always went ham at that. And so, yeah, if I don't really have a answer for that, just based off of the fact that I've been doing this for so long, and the best thing about it is I have the freedom to do, everything that I've been loving to do for a long time now. So it's just really about being diligent, really be, putting in the time so that you can master your craft and give yourself time to do other things like raising your children and having a good family life. Yeah. Man, okay. What's up from Portugal? What's happening? What's up from Venezuela? Barcelona. We worldwide in this thing right now. Man, okay, let's keep it going. Okay. So, all right, let me get some more questions. Let's see here. Manuel, I'm sorry if I messed your name up. Hi from Barcelona, Spain. Congrats for your work and your YouTube channel. My question is, how do you face the obsolescence of your production kit, hardware, software, which is getting faster and faster? I just try to keep up when it comes to equipment, when it comes to the newest technology. I really just want to always be on the cutting edge, because I know that they're, with the newest technology, it's always going to try to make things smaller, faster, more mobile, and yeah, things do become obsolete. But for me, I want to make sure that I'm never the guy who's holding on to something that I know is about to become obsolete, and really take the time to figure out the new wave. So if it was the iPad in 2014 when I started to really figure out if I could do that from a music production standpoint, I'm like, yo, can I really do this? I shut my whole entire studio. I had a huge studio in my house and everything was decked out, and I was like, can I do this just with the device? And I shut all that stuff down. I was about to swear, but I'm trying to keep it PG in this thing. Yeah, and I just went ham. And so if you take that mind state and say, you know what, I think this might be the new wave. Let me take some time off, or let me take some time away from what I normally do and figure out the new way of getting to that future, so I don't become the guy who's relying on obsolete technology. Hopefully that answers this question. Man, so I got a couple questions that people have asked me over and over again, and I want to jump into those real quick. So a lot of people have asked, how do you create those outros on your videos? And what did you do to be able to do that? Because I love the outro. With the intro, I just took pieces from all the videos that I did last year, chopped them up into this intro, and just used one of my beats. But for the outro, I was looking into ways of using After Effects to make an outro, because I've seen a lot of people do it, like YCM Imaging and some of these other guys that I thought were dope. And I was like, yo, I want to do some stuff like that. So what I did was I just searched on the on YouTube on After Effects, and I found this. I'm gonna show you guys a screenshot. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the audio, but check it out real quick. I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. So I'm gonna go to desktop. I didn't have no audio for that. My bad. But so if you looked at that site, if you go and follow Monkey Motion, they basically have the exact template that I used, and I just created a what is it, an After Effects trial, because I'm not using After Effects like that, and I just put in my own information, put in my own pictures, and saved it as a MP4 file if I was using Luma Fusion. And so that would allow me to, you know, kind of crop out the background and just keep whatever's in the middle. And then I just saved it as a video for my outro. It wasn't really that hard. But if you go and you follow Monkey Motion, I believe it is, they're the people who have the actual custom templates that you can download for free to be able to create the exact type of outro that I created. Check them out. Download their stuff if that's what you want to do. Put in your own stuff after you've, you know, done a trial or whatever, even if you already have After Effects, and just save it as a video file and get it popping for your outros. Hopefully that helped somebody who's been asking, because a lot of people ask, how do you do those outros? All right, back to the chat. Yo, what up from everywhere? Jeez. Can you do a video for new YouTubers on how to help monetize a channel? William Lopez, talking about monetizing your YouTube channel. So last year, I really wasn't figuring out exactly how I was supposed to be monetizing, you know, my YouTube channel. And this year I knew that, you know, as I went more into educating people on, you know, what I was doing and how I was doing it and whether the products I was using, I was like, yo, there has to be better ways for me to monetize everything that I'm doing. So the first thing you want to make sure that you do is make sure you set up your YouTube page, and try to get, you know, set up an affiliate marketing with Amazon. I would say Amazon, right? Type in affiliate marketing for Amazon and sign up. And they're going to go through a list of questions, and you can find a YouTube video on, you know, how to do this correctly. But you fill out the questions, like what type of channel you are, and, you know, what your channel about, and what type of products are you going to be talking about. And then when it asks you, you know, what your website is, you don't necessarily have to put in the, you know, your website. You can put in youtube.com/your name, and make sure you can, you know, have some type of traction, have some type of following going on from your channel. And so you set that up, and you have Amazon affiliate marketing, right? So now you can put links into the, you know, description of your videos, and you'll be able to, like, anytime somebody purchases or does any type of, you know, browsing on Amazon through the link that they went through from your description, and they buy something, you get a commission, right? That was just one way of doing something, right? The second way was, if, you know, with iTunes and with the apps, for me, I was did the same thing, affiliate marketing with iTunes. Now, there's a whole, you know, controversy about people saying that iTunes is going to let go of that affiliated marketing if it's not just music on iTunes, but I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be up. But I've been able to do affiliated marketing from iTunes as well, so that I can, you know, anybody clicks on the links of the products that, you know, I'm talking about, the Luma Fusions and the beat makers, and people buy that, I'm getting a commission off of that as well. And then 3, I made sure that my website, I started, you know, selling kits and LUTs and presets. And so it all just kind of revolves around this YouTube channel. So if I'm talking about the LUTs, and if I'm talking about color grading, or I'm talking about, you know, co-producing with me on a special kit, showing you how to do certain things and providing those sounds, everything on my website is being able to be monetized based off of the videos that I'm doing. So that's number 3. Number 4 is you start building relationships with the companies that you're dealing with. Like, if, you know, you're a producer like myself, and, you know, you want to build, you know, you start doing reviews on products like, you know, Native Instruments and you know, some of these other companies. You know, if you build your following up, you can tell them that, you know, I have this specific following. I'd love to review your product. If you could send your products out, and maybe even provide something that I could give away to my audience, that's another way for you to monetize, because now they're giving you free product for not only you to use and review, but sometimes even to give away. So that's 4. And then 5 is, you know, you're just making sure that you keep a specific parameters around monetizing your videos within YouTube itself. And then, as your numbers grow and you're in the specific niche that you're in, you'll be earning advertising dollars from, AdSense and all of that. And you'll be able to, keep growing that number based off of, how you retain your viewership and how many people, watch your videos all the way through and the type of ads they can put on your videos. And then that stuff goes up. So that's 5 ways that you can create an income off of YouTube and really start getting things going. And even if you start out slow, it'll come monthly and 5 different checks or 5 different pieces of monetization. Man, you'll start killing it. So that's long, but I wanted to break that down for somebody who wants to start the YouTube. Let's get back to the chat. Lord have mercy, there's a lot. So Brandon Simpson asks, what are some alternatives for selling beats online to better establish your brand for better placements? How do you start the transition to be taken more seriously as a professional music creator? So let's talk about this, right? When it comes to being beat makers and become producers in 2018, going into almost 2019, I think there really is a professional space for selling your beats online. There's been way more success coming out of, companies like BeatStars, for instance, or, other online platforms that are helping you sell your beats online. That's a, it's a tricky thing because you look at something like somebody like myself, and I was never really the one to say, I don't know if I'm gonna sell or release my beats online because I feel like I've reached a certain level and I shouldn't be doing that. But take it, for instance, somebody like Will Smith, who said, you know what, I'm the highest end movie star, and there's no reason for me to be doing social media like I'm doing, or YouTube or anything like that. But he realized the climate, and he realized that to not be obsolete, like we talked about, not to be the old school type, that maybe I need to try doing things a different way. And so the main thing you still got to realize is when you're dealing with being professional, it's still going to have to be dealt with building relationships, with not only other artists or producers, different labels, whatever out there. Get out there to different events and stuff like that. But also make sure that your music is out there to be heard. And so if you're a producer starting out and you're trying to get your placements, you're trying to get your name out there, I would highly recommend trying to get out there and sell your music anywhere that you possibly can, because that's only going to bring the notoriety that you need, and also help you monetize it. And as you monetize it, so you start selling, leasing beats online, you start building up, some money in your bank account. Now you can take more trips. Now you can go meet with people. Now you can say, well, I'm doing this on this site, and I'm doing this, and you can start building relationships. So you can do both. I don't think there is one way that you should start thinking about yourself as a professional. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that you're doing everything that you possibly can in 2018, specifically on social platforms, to make sure you build that brand up. Yeah. All right, man. I'm trying to keep it going. How do I live stream in that nice quality? Thank you. I love your personality. That's Fitzy. I don't. Okay, so with this live stream, what I did here is right here. I have my. Let me see if y'all can see this. This is my laptop. I have it plugged in. Right. This is this cord is going into this CamLink software. Right. CamLink. And it's hooked up to my GH5 through HDMI. And through this software called OBS, you can basically take the exact stream that's coming from your camera. I could have used my, M50 back there, or any other camera, hooked it up through HDMI, and been able to, stream it directly to my laptop and get the quality that I get from my camera. And so that's why I love doing it like this way. That's why I love to do my live on YouTube, because I mean, if I can get the quality almost looking like the quality of my videos, my brand is staying consistent. Y'all know what it is. So that's what it is. It's my GH5 going into the CamLink, going into the computer using OBS software. Yeah. Okay. Man, I got to go down. Hold on. Okay. So, okay. So yes, the camera that I'm using for this video is my Panasonic GH5, and I have the Sigma 18 to 35 lens on there right now. That is what you're seeing. Okay, let me get to some more. Let me get to some more things here. West Tennessee, what's up, Akeem Simpson? All right. Jose Carlos Davila, what's happening? How do I record, monitor my guitars? How to record and monitor my guitars with Cubase's 2 and bias amp with audio bus. I'm having trouble because the signal that I hear on Cubase's sounds clean, but I'm using distortion amp with bias. Man, I think that, you know, when I recorded guitars using, I would use this this Shure. What is this? The MVI. This is how I record a lot of my bass and a lot of my guitar pieces, and it would come in clean. And that's how we recorded things into Cubase's or Beatmaker, and then we would apply the amp simulation afterwards. So I'm not sure if that would mess up your vibe or mess up your flow, but that is how we did it. Yeah, I'm not a guitarist. I don't do a lot of guitar-based stuff, but I believe if you go if you monitor through maybe something like, I use Tone Stack as well, so maybe if you monitor to Tone Stack, you'll be able to get the amp processed all the way through to Cubase's, but I've never tried it, so that's that. Boom, man, let me try to keep going. Okay. Cleo King, how did it feel when you were on Kendrick's album Good Kid, Mad City, and what went through your head when making the beat? So, when with Kendrick's album, you know, I actually made that track like about a year and a half before, and it was crazy just because I really started, I had a session, and Don Cannon was in the room, and he was telling us about Machine, and Machine was just new. And so I was sitting there and I was like, yo, I gotta try that. So I went and got a Machine, I think the next day, and I just wanted to see exactly all that it could do. And so I used, you know, an Apogee 1 that I had and plugged that in, and it had a mic on it. And I just started making sounds with my mouth and trying the instruments. So like the drums that you hear, like I've shown in the video, I just put an effect on that. There were stock drums, and like, you know, the whoo, like that was just my voice going, like using a vocal feature, just having fun with the new technology. And so like if we go all the way back to the conversation about not being obsolete, I've seen the future of, like, you know, production being in, like, you know, Native Instruments machines and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, I gotta get on this. And so I went and tried it out and created a whole bunch of tracks like that. And when we got to sit down with Kendrick, he was like, I love some of these tracks that you're playing, but play me some different stuff. Play me some stuff that you wouldn't think I would get on. And that was one of the first beats I believe Dow played for him. And he loved it, and we vibed, and yeah, that became, you know, Shireen, and it's a classic album. So it was awesome. So yeah, you know, today is a Ask Me Anything type of vibe. So I didn't specify it based off of, you know, any, you know, music related, camera related, life related, motivational related. It's pretty much everything in its entirety, just because I get questions all the time from all over about all types of different, you know, things that are going on, and I want to be able to answer as many questions as I possibly can within the time that I have on all topics. So yeah, it's all over the board. Letter L Beats, how do you measure the value of a producer who has no placements? I think when it comes to you know, producers, it's really talent, right? I mean, how do you value the, you know, the value of an artist that has no record deal? It's the kind of the same deal, right? You're gonna look at the talent first, and you're gonna see, like, damn, you know, what type of talent do they have? You know, do they have, you know, what type of skills do they have? How seasoned are they, you know, as far as their skill level? as a seasoned producer, being in the industry for a while, you can tell somebody who's just starting out and somebody who's been at it a while and still trying to get to that next level. So, I mean, you know, when it comes to the value of them, I think that, you know, as somebody looking at them, I'm thinking like they might have a lot of potential. You know, it just depends on their talent level. Now, if their talent level is good and their skill level is crazy, right? Talent might be natural and skill level might be how they work their ass off. How willing are they to be, you know, like able to do business? I mean, that's the basic of what's going to propel them forward, whether you're a producer, artist, whatever, because you could be the most talented person in the world and not really know how to conduct business, and you won't get anywhere. And you could be the most talented, or you could be the most business-minded, ready to do business in the world, and your talent might be lacking, and you could really find that barrier as well. So the value in a producer who has no placements would just be based off of, you know, what's your skill level, what's your talent, and how willing are you to do business? You know, because if you have no placements, you should be willing to do a lot of business. You should be willing to maybe take those risks, take those opportunities that are in front of you, and try to, you know, make the best out of it. And then, you know, from there, just continue to build. So, yeah. Man, let me keep going down. Okay, so what's up to Ghana? And let's see. What's up, Audio Dabbler? What's up, bro? From Atlanta. Jay Troy, what's your take on instrumental artists, producers releasing instrumental albums? Yo, I think that's amazing. I think that, you know, as a producer, you should find as many ways to get your music out there as possible. So if you want to do, you know, if you want to, you know, put out music yourself as an instrumentalist, that can only help you build your brand. If you want to do other things like try to get placements, or, you know, try to get syncs on commercials and TV, or even like, you know, building relationships with, you know, online influencers to be able to, you know, maybe get other ways. I mean, because you got to think about it like this. In 2018, we have so much opportunity to do everything from what we do in our space to the world. And so, you know, don't fight yourself on the freedom of that barrier. I mean, the freedom of not having that barrier, right? So you can basically take your products, you take your, you know, your talent, your instrumentals, whatever, you could just put that out there as products and albums and stuff like that and continue to build. The main thing is, you know, you got to focus on how do you market yourself? How do you brand yourself? How do you put yourself in the mix with others so that others are talking about you, that are, you know, people, your colleagues, those that are on your same wavelength. Don't limit yourself. You know, if that's something that you're interested in, try it, do it. If it fails and you didn't like it, stop it. If it fails, but you know there's something there, keep pushing. All right. Man. Yeah. All right, so boom. So is the audio loud or something? I'm just trying to make sure the audio is not crazy. It doesn't look crazy to me. So Malcolm Wembley, do you feel iPads are limited compared to laptops? Sure. I mean, laptops can do quite a bit more than they can do quite a bit more than you know, your average iPad, you know, but the mobility is a lot better. So there's always going to be give or take. You know, I mean, you can do amazing things with laptops that, you know, we've been able to do for the last 10, 15 years. But the power that's, you know, being built within these devices like iPads, it's only getting better. So if you have the mindset of saying, you know, you're not afraid to limit yourself to be able to try the new technology and get used to it and master it, then when it does reach a even more powerful, you know, platform, you'll be ahead of the class. And that was my stake on it. Like, I was like, yo, like I'm really gonna dive in and see just how far I can go with these products. You know what I mean? Because if you master that and you get it, you know, you get it done like that, then you won't worry so much about what's being limited. You know what I mean? And you'll be able to at least be able to be in the forefront of technology when things get better. Yeah. Um, um, boom. So yeah, if you see my man BD, he definitely is my business partner, and he is down in the chat, and so he might be helping out, and he knows everything about everything going on with this brand. So if you see BD up there in the chat, man, holla at him, say what's up, because that is my right hand man and been my best friend since 1998, 20 years. All right. AJ Sounds, what's the best way to train your ears as a music producer? Time. Your ears will only get better as your knowledge increases, because as you're starting out, you're gonna think that you want to hear things a certain way, and then over time, as things progress and you understand a little bit more about EQ and compression and all the things that make a sound wave, you're going to learn more about the balance of everything and making sure things are balanced. But it comes with time. That's why you see, guys that are engineers that have been in, engineering, mixing and mastering engineers, went well into their 50s, 60s, 70s, because their ear is so trained, they know exactly what it needs to sound like. So as your ear develops over time, it'll only understand the sonics better. So I wouldn't worry so much about trying to train your ear better. It's really just practice and patience. Yeah. Man. Okay. Willie Beeman, what's happening? You probably answered this already, but how do you transfer BM3 beats into Logic? I've always done the same thing that I did with Machine, and that's, take the audio files and bring them in. Because I try to be real decisive with the type of tracks that I create. So I don't necessarily try to export the MIDI. I'm always just exporting the audio files as stems, and then bringing them in if that's something that I need to do. I did the same thing with Machine. When I started out, I would make the track in Machine, and then I would export the stems and bring it into Logic, and then build around that. So that's what I would do. But for me, I don't go anywhere. I stay all the way in Beatmaker 3 all day long. So yeah. Let me go back up. Boom. Keith Tut. What are some new iOS synths? Have your suggestions before downloaded those app. Here's the issue with a lot of new apps. Apps are coming out, every week, right? Regardless if it's a synth app or a drum app. There's a lot of apps that you can really try new things. One of the reasons that I got into the iOS platform is to limit my thinking as far as like finding the best things that work for me and continuously work with those sounds, and really master those sounds. And you'll end up actually creating a sound by just using certain apps that you really get into, and don't feel like you're not getting enough. Because when I had a sponsorship with Native Instruments, they have some of the most amazing sounds, and I would get all the native completes and all the sound packs, and it would be 300, 400, 500 gigs worth of sounds, and all it did was slow me down, because I couldn't make any decisions. I couldn't figure out what sound I wanted to use for this or what sound I wanted to use for that, and so you're spending hours just trying to figure out the right sound to use for right thing, and it's just slowing up the process. I was just like, yo, what sounds do I love? I love Moog sounds. I love, the Clevgran apps. I love some of the Korg Gadget sounds. The Poison 202, the Synth Master. Some of these things that are right there for you. Master those, blend those, tweak those in ways that you never could. And not always try to figure out what's the newest and latest and greatest, just because the main objective is just to get more creative ideas out there to the universe. Well, that's what I want to do. You know, some people love to tweak sounds, ideas, and go back and forth, and that's what their passion is. My passion is really to create some idea that people will love and try to get it to the people. So that's my answer for that. Yeah. Shouts from Lithuania. Yo, what's happening? Yeah, man. Mr. Moss. I am Mr. Moss. Peace, Henny. Thanks for speaking at our HBCU Connect career event and panel discussion back in 14. Man, no doubt. Any chance the award is on display in that room? I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm sorry if it isn't. But appreciate you coming in and saying what's happening. So, okay. Queued Up Productions. What's the best way to approach music placements for TV and film? Man, you got to start figuring out, when it comes to TV and film, it's definitely going to be about building relationships and finding ways to deal with music supervisors, because they're going to be the ones who are going to supervise the music, and get with the music director of whatever particular show or film or commercial or whatever, and build relationships there. I know guys that, know people that work in, as music supervisors for certain shows, and they build relationships with those people, and then they pass along their music and have had good success. Other people that I've known, they've tried a third party where you send your music to a third party that tries to help you license, music out there for TV, film, commercials, whatever, and then you end up, putting it into a pool of music from a whole bunch of different people, and if your stuff gets picked, that company will usually take 50% of the advance, not of your royalties or your publishing, but of the advance. Say you get $1,000 for that placement, they would take $500 and give you $500. But if you start researching, different shows that you would love, and you're like, oh man, I know my music would be great on a certain show. Maybe you try to research and see who the music supervisor is for that, and maybe try to get the assistant of that music supervisor and build a relationship there. Work your way up and see how you can try to get it's all in the relationships. So, music supervisor, music director, those are going to be the people who are going to make those decisions, and along with the director and people like that. So if you can start building relationships there, you can get to the direct source. If not, you might want to try a third party and just understand that they're going to take a fee off top to be able to try to get your music over there. Yeah. Boom. Okay, Jay Troy, what mic are you using for this live stream? Crystal clear audio, bro. Thank you. Right here, I have the Rode Video Mic Pro. It's coming down. It's basically the same mic that I use on all my YouTube videos, and I have it plugged into my camera, and it's just going, like I said before, through the cam link to the computer using the OBS software. Okay, boom. Damian Robertson, I have a passion for helping and encouraging people, but I don't know what my niche should be. Do you have any advice? Being able to, help and wanting to help and give people, knowledge and encouragement, that's an amazing thing. Now, if you don't have a talent that you want to provide or whatever, it could be hard to get people to, it can become hard for people to basically trust what you're saying, your encouragement, your motivation, because people want to see the hard facts. They want to see you do what you're talking about. You know what I mean? They want to be able to understand that you not only talk the talk, talk the talk, but you walk the walk, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? So you want to make sure that you figure out what it is that you really love doing and speak on that, and try to figure out what things that you love talking about. Like, what do you end up having conversations about a lot about, in random conversations about encouragement? And you'll start to see, man, I'm always talking about these things. I'm always talking about this. And then try to figure out ways to talk about that, whether it's talking about business or, talking about finances or, talking about spirituality or, there's a lot of things that you can talk about when it comes to motivation and encouragement or whatever. And there's a lot of successful people that are doing that. Figure out what, the best thing that you can do to add value is to be very specific about the things that you talk about and then broaden outward. That's the way that people will continue to really dive into your brand, because they're going to go into that based off of the things that you talk about, and then you can start adding more layers to that. So don't be afraid to continue to think about the things that you talk about, that you love talking about, that you love doing, and build upon that. Yeah. So, man, yeah, thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate all that is going on. I do have a few more questions that I got on my DMs. I'll answer a few of those as well. And so, let's see here. So a lot of people have asked about, bouncing MIDI in the way that I record or produce music, and exporting the MIDI so that maybe it can take it to a different DAW. And like I've said before, I really focus on the audio files and not the MIDI. I know a lot of people want to transfer the MIDI ideas to a different DAW, but I don't bounce. So this questions was from Instarack, and do you bounce to audio after you record MIDI? And yes, I do all the time, and if anybody has maybe older or not as powerful iPads and they're still using like Beatmaker and they're getting hangups with their MIDI, glitching out, I would recommend bouncing that idea as an audio file and then doing a save as, so that you have a MIDI version of that song, and then an audio version of that song, just so that you can go back to the MIDI if you need the changes, but you can also have one that you can work that's just the straight audio files, and you'll be able to tweak those and edit those a little bit freer, free up a lot of memory or RAM on your device. So yeah. Lewis got heat, $1.99 for the super chat. I appreciate you. What are your favorite plugins for mixing? Man, so my engineer Cap and I, a few years ago, we really got hip to Slate digital plugins, and I was telling everybody like a few years ago, I was like, yo, Slate is about to change the game, because I had invested so much that year into UAD plugins, and I had so much UAD gear. That's Universal Audio for those who don't know, Universal Audio gear. And I was like, man, Slate came with, when you looked at the type of the type of effects and plugins that they were offering at a monthly subscription, I was like, yo, this is insane. And so yeah, I really love Slate digital products and plugins, and we use those a lot for mixing the tracks that I have. So, and thanks for everybody who's, engaging in the chat, you know what I mean? And answering questions if I'm not able to get to them, because I'm trying to make sure I look at the camera, trying to make sure I'm keeping up with the chat, and I appreciate y'all in this three-way thing that I'm trying to maintain. So yeah, Lewis got heat. My favorite plugins for mixing are definitely Slate plugins. But if you're talking about for iOS, man, my favorites would be, hold on, I'm coming to them real quick. I'm gonna make sure I remember them all. Give me 1 second. I love some of the Clef Grand stuff, Chord Presser. I love some of that. The Audio Damage stuff. That stuff is crazy. Hold on. Like the Adverb, the 6144. Man, Fly Tape. My man, MSX Audio, they got some dope stuff for adding, some type of grit to your sounds. And, the Maxima plugin. There's quite a few that I love on iOS as well. But if I'm going into a professional mix state, I'm going to be using Slate. the SSL plugins and tube tech compressors are crazy as well. And so yeah, man, it's I thank you so much for your contribution, your super chat. Thank you so much. Lewis got heat. Damian Crump. Wow, I rep 206, but I used to live in Federal Way. That's what's happening. Yes, I am from Federal Way. I live in Atlanta, but I will be back for my 20-year reunion in about a month and a half. No doubt. Yo, Brandon Simpson, how do you get over producers and writer's block? I've actually done a whole video on that on my channel, getting over writer's block, producer block, whatever it is. And quite honestly, one of the biggest things has been writer's block for me when it comes to my creativity, because there might be days, there might be weeks, there might be, a month or so where I'm just not feeling the creative ideas coming musically. And that's why I turn my passion to other things. That's why I've picked up, cameras and video editing and color grading and all these other things that I've learned. I love cooking. For a while, I was really into to style and fashion, and so I've turned my creative juices in, and I pivoted them into other genres, other careers. And the crazy part about that is, if you have multiple instances of that where maybe a different passion is calling you a different way, you can start to really level up on those types of careers. So not only have I been able to do music production for these last 20 years, I've had tons of gigs and jobs being a videographer, being a photographer, shooting videos, shooting, doing all types of stuff. And that's only led me to do this, on a weekly basis, to be able to do all of it. So my writer's block has actually only helped me for my career as it's evolving. So don't be afraid to pivot to other things that you are passionate about if you feel yourself in a stale moment. Yeah. David Castro, how do I get my channel more noticeable? That's a tricky one. I think a lot of people, can talk a lot on YouTube about building your following, building, your subscribers up. And, the proof of my success has been my vulnerability and my transparency and whatever. And the fact that I put myself in a very narrow niche. When I started out, I was talking about iOS music production. And so that's kind of where I started with my channel, and being able to try to be entertaining as well as educating, and listening to the feedback of other people, whether it's followers or friends or family, and being able to stay consistent, as well as really hammering in on giving people the knowledge without boring them. And so that's been my thing, and hopefully, it's the proof is in the fact that I know that me being vulnerable, me being a little bit more, trying to be real, trying to be, just as try to be as cool as possible to everybody and respond to everybody. I think that's helped. So if you want to build your audience more, I would say, start with the niche, start with the small things, the smallest niche that you can, and really go in on those with those types of videos, and be entertaining, be educating, listen to your folks, get the feedback going, and yeah, just try the best ways to make your stuff as professional as possible. Yep. Oh man. Martian Creations, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Not sure if you had a question, but I appreciate the super chat love. Thank you for the $2. James Ryan, do you have advice on building sample packs to sell as watermarks and such? Do I collect directly from a company that sells them? How do I track this? I could go independently as well, but simplify maybe? Okay, James Ryan. So, companies like sounds.com, companies like Splice, or even building your own off your own website. If you don't have a following, if you, haven't built, up a trust from people to say, okay, I would definitely buy his stuff. I would try some of these services and put your, your beats or your tracks or your sounds or your sound kits on some of these platforms, just so that you can get in the you get in that whole arena of like all the other people, and try to do what's working, and try to make the stuff that you're creating. You know what I mean? And so do that. Make sure that you can go in and try to become part of a company like that if you haven't built your stuff up. But also, figure out ways to build your brand up as well. So, show your music on any platforms that you can, whether it's SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever. And if you got to watermark it. If you got to keep tagging it, whatever is going to make you feel comfortable. But you got to get your stuff out there, and you got to make sure that it stays consistent, because that's, I've had tons of music leak. I've had tons of music that I didn't get paid for in the beginning, and it was frustrating. And, people would take advantage of you. And this is before the internet was even like it is today. And so, you have instances where people will try to take advantage, but you just persevere and push through, and that's the way to really kind of get through to your audience, and then be able to get the monetization that you want. So start with a platform, but also build your brand. Hopefully that helped. Man, wow, Lou's got heat. Another 199. Favorite engineer, Mike Dean or Dave Pensado? Jeez. Mike Dean is a beast when it comes to engineering, and I love the sonics that he, has helped with, the likes of Kanye and others. But I really love the fact that, Dave Pensado has created a whole new career for himself. Like, that really builds like the spirit within me, because, you could be the hottest, most dopest guy and have a hot streak, and then stuff can, you can get burnt out. You can, get a moment in time where you're just not feeling it. And the fact that you can pivot, and work your ass off to a new, to a whole new career, Pensado's place is like the biggest thing for music producers and music engineers for knowledge, So I'd have to give it up to Dave Pensado for sure. Yo, Dave Fame with the $9.99 super chat, my man. Thank you so much. Goodness gracious. Thanks for being an inspiration to me and encouraging me to get my YouTube page started. I haven't loaded any videos, but I had the ball rolling. I never thought I would use an iPad for my passion. Yo, Dave Fame, thank you so much, brother. And I'm happy that I'm able to at least give the knowledge there, so that you can get it going. And don't be so worried, that you haven't started just yet, because it took me a while to get comfortable doing the things that I needed to do before I actually went live and practice. Practice is only going to get you ready to play the game. And so I've definitely, I definitely promote practicing, trying to, even like with the live, going live on YouTube. Like I practiced, and I would screen record and try to see how I looked and how it sounded and how all of this would work. And so, I'm just glad that, these videos, these lives, all of this is helping out everybody, and we can really get to, helping each other. So thanks again. And, looking forward to see some videos pop up from you, my man. Yeah, let's get back to it. Man, I appreciate everybody checking this out, man. Hopefully I'm talking about something good. Keep the questions coming in. Lord have mercy, I'm trying to keep up. Exclusive music. Do you have a set schedule to separate your work life, family life, personal goals, and just alone time? Wow. I do have a set schedule kind of based off of my children and their school and their homework, and my wife has her career. And so when it comes to like a balanced lifestyle, like, yeah, there's the thing that balances me or manages my time is the kids, right? I mean, I know that, when I became a father, I just wanted to be one of the best fathers I could possibly be. So, making sure I'm there for my children, making sure that I'm continuously keeping up with everything they're they want to be a part of and that they are a part of, keeping up with their schoolwork and continuously motivating them to become the best kids that they possibly can be. That keeps my time managed. Now, before then, I spent a lot of time working on, I try to set a schedule on like keeping my health up, working out. I like to swim every day. I like to be able to, eat healthy. I like to be able to do my research. I like to be able to, really dive into what I'm into. If I'm in a creative spirit, I want to make sure I can lock down time to really get creative. And then by 2:30, 3 o'clock, it's daddy time. You know what I mean? From like 2:30 to about 7:30. And so, that comes with everything from, dealing with the kids, picking the kids up, helping them with their homework and all of those things, as well as making sure, get the healthy dinners popping or whatever. Have some time with the family when my wife gets home from her gig and her job. And by 9 o'clock, I'm back to my alone time, my focus time, or I'm out in the scene, either having a session or at an event. So that's kind of how my day goes. I try to make sure that I keep it balanced, but that's for me. And I have a family. I'm a husband. I'm a father, and I got a lot of other things going on. But for somebody who doesn't have any of those things going on, you can still set schedules based off of just making sure you get certain things done a day. Because even before I was a father, even before I was married, I still try to make sure I took time to kind of figure out what's going on, like kind of check the news, browse internets, whatever. Make sure I did something for my health, whether I was walking, running, hitting the gym, making sure I really dived into some work. And if I didn't dive into some work, maybe pivoted to something I was passionate about, and then spent time with my girlfriend, which is my wife. And then you can do the same things. Just kind of think of yourself as having blocks of time every day. Yeah. Man. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up. Y'all. Okay. So let's see. Moshi Beats. Nope. Moshi Beast. My bad. Hey, Henny. I'm an independent producer and I have been in contact with a few record labels, but I don't know how much about the business part of the industry. Where do I start? I don't trust no one. Here's the thing, like, you got to find somebody around you who can help you become comfortable. Because like I said before, you can have a lot of talent, you can have a lot of skill, but if you aren't willing to do business, you're not going to get very far, I know a lot of people who've been in the industry and become very successful who've had to take kind of not the best deals in the beginning and push through those deals to get the better deals, and that's music in general. Like take for instance my man Isaiah Thomas. We're from the same neck of area in Washington, and I remember, seeing him transcend from like being a dope college athlete to being the last pick of his draft and kind of getting a whatever type of deal to, working his ass off to getting a better deal to getting more time, getting more play. And that's just based off of trusting yourself that you're going to be able to not only find the right people around you to help you out, but also learn the knowledge and business about music itself. Like, there's tons of books, there's tons of ways you can Google anything the simplest thing that you could possibly do. You could do, how do I get paid as a music producer, or what things do I need to learn as a music producer, or like the simplest things you can Google and get answers. That's why I always, just get as much information online as possible, and then find somebody out there who believes in what you believe in, and believes in you, and have them help you build your confidence around those in the industry. If you're dealing with record labels, if you're dealing with others, and you guys should start working it out. And if you can, find ways to get, some type of knowledge from an attorney. My homegirl Shay Lawson, mlawson.com. She's an attorney who does a lot of great online tutorials about what it is that you need to be, knowledgeable about when it comes to being a producer, getting paid, and all of those things. There's tons of stuff, information out there for free. You just got to put in the work. All right, man. Lewis Got Heat is coming with the heat. Another $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Side chaining or clipping to make drum slap. Man, I like the side chain. And anybody that doesn't know what side chain is basically compressing on one, like you have a drum and you're, compressing it one way, but then you're actually bussing it to another, basically a whole nother bus. And then you're putting more compression on that bus and kind of just slowly bringing up that to beef up the drums. So I do like the side chain just because I make sure that, when it comes to clipping and we're in the digital space, you can make sure that your stuff slaps really hard, but you don't want it to overpower the rest of your whole sonic. So when it comes to side chaining, I do that versus digital clipping, and it kind of helps my drum slap. But yeah, man, there's tons of Am I back? I don't know. Hopefully that battery ran out. That was crazy. Yeah, probably should get a different battery, but hopefully y'all can see. Yeah, my bad. So yeah, let me keep going. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm back. Am I back? Yes. I don't know if everybody fell off or not. That was crazy. My bad. I hope I'm back. But yeah, my battery definitely went out. So let's get back to it because I'm not done yet. All right, so let's get back to some of these questions. Man, my bad, y'all. See, you don't always get it right. You got to figure it out. But I do have a few more questions. Okay, so this, let's see, Roy Breezy says, "Hey, Henny, I'm a big fan, my dude. Just a question as a Sony user. If I'm wanting to, let's see here. If I'm wanting to film and upload to YouTube, should I be recording in MP4 or AVC HD?" All right, for Sony users out there who want to record, the MP4 format is not going to be good quality, so I would not recommend shooting in MP4. If you're on Sony, I would do AVC HD, yeah, or AVCS or whatever it is. The only thing is you're going to have to use a different cord to get your files into your iPad and get them to be able to edit in Luma Fusion. That's a tricky process sometimes. Well, it's not a tricky, it's just an extra step. But I do believe that, the AVC HD is the best way to go because the MP4 files aren't as good, the bit rates aren't good, and they're not going to look as crispy. Sorry, y'all, I'm back. Let's get back to the chat. Okay. Man, okay. Yes. So yeah, I had to get. I knew I should have kept some batteries right around here if the joint went dead, and I need to get what they call a D-tap battery. That's actually one of those batteries that has you can plug directly into the wall. I gotta get one of those just for the same instance that the joint went dead. All right, let's keep it going. Okay. So, mobile video editing asked, any news on Adobe Rush? So I have not got a beta for Adobe Rush. I signed up for Adobe Rush. And if anybody that doesn't know, Adobe Rush is going to be a competitor to Luma Fusion. And they yeah, I haven't got anything from them. So if anybody out there who has used it, let me know, because I was still waiting on the beta to be able to test that, to be able to give the goods to y'all. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't got anything. So okay, man. So yeah. Seneca Tyree, let's talk about dope drums and why it means everything. So one of the biggest things that I would tell any music producers out there in trying to have a career in music production is drum programming. Your drums will carry you through. Like, it's like your talent, like knowing how to play guitar, knowing how to play keys, and bass, guitar, all of those things to be able to produce and grab melodies is one thing, but drum programming is so key when it comes to keeping up with the times, because that's what changes the most, right? And being able to learn how to produce within the climate. Like if say for instance you're producing in the early 2000s, and now you're trying to keep up with maybe the trap sound and how to produce and drum program, like how maybe trap and southern trap drums would be programmed. Yeah, you might be if you didn't keep up, you would have a hard time, because you might not be up to date on that. So you got to keep up to date on your drums and your drum programming, and making sure that they sound fresh. I've told numerous people that that's what'll keep you fresh. Your drums will always keep you fresh. All right, man. All right, so yeah. Cuddy, what's up? Fresh for life. Yeah, Liz, I had to bounce back real quick with that battery. Lord have mercy. Yeah, once again, I thank everybody for tuning in. Hopefully this is helping somebody out there. I'm trying to answer as many people as possible. Man. Okay. And yeah, a couple more people asked again about this chat and how I did it. Once again, I'll reiterate that one more time. I'm using the Panasonic GH5 with my Sigma 18-35 lens, and that has a speed booster on it. If you know about Panasonic GH5s and speed boosters, you'll know that is the little adapter in between the lens and the camera to be able to give you even crispier and shallower depth of field. And I have that going to this thing called a cam link. It's about $100 on Amazon, and you plug the HDMI of the camera into the HDMI input of the cam link, and then that goes into your computer. And I'm using a program called OBS software, and the dope thing about OBS is I can use my LUTs, and I can kind of play with the colors a little bit to be able to get it looking quite similar to like how I would do on a normal video. So that's how that's going. My audio is the same. It's my Rode Video Mic Pro Plus that is directly plugged into the camera. Let's keep it going. Man, my bad for coughing. What's up from Switzerland? Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see here. I got about 25 more minutes on the clock. Let's get some more questions going. Yeah, my bad, y'all. This is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so, but once again, this thing will definitely be available for people to rewatch. So that's a cool thing. All right. Man. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, one thing that people always were asking is, what other type of transitions can you do in Luma Fusion? And that was, this has come from Jabaria DeBenz. My bad if I messed that name up. What other type of transitions can you do in Luma Fusion? And that's the only place where I feel like Luma Fusion can really step it up, is being able to do a little bit different transitions versus just their normal transitions that they have in the app itself. Because the type of cool After Effects transitions that you might see on some people's videos and the zoom transitions, Yeah, you really can't do a whole lot of that right now on Luma Fusion, and hopefully that's coming soon. But the biggest thing that I would say is just, for me, I always focused on storytelling. Try to make sure I tell a good story, and make sure that just a normal cut, a normal good cut, and making sure you know exactly what to do, how to edit, because I follow a dude, Potato Jet. He's super dope, and I love the way he edits. But he had a video about editing, and a lot of, if you're doing some camera talk like this, it's very easy just to make sure your ums and your uhs and your pauses and those little pieces. Just look at your waveform in Luma Fusion, take that piece and chop it out. You'll figure out so much more about how to condense your video and make it flow, make it run, and make it more concise, to the point, and so that you'll be able to get your story out there. So when it comes to transitions, I don't worry so much about those as much anymore. I mean, if I was doing like travel vlogs and like a lot of crazy B-roll, I would probably want that, but you could probably do some of that stuff in camera, and there's a lot of people who can talk about that. So yeah, with in-camera transitions, I would try that more than trying to figure out how to get different transitions in Luma Fusion right now. Man, Von Bass with the super chat again. Good God. Thank you. What's good, Henny? Can you briefly go over your registration process for building your catalog of beats from BMI to distribution? Okay. All right, so the thing with, let's see here, with as a producer and you're trying to register your works to make sure that, you're getting paid, right? The first thing you want to do is to make sure that you set up a company for yourself, period. If you're in Georgia or whatever state you are in, I would definitely always recommend like going to the Department of Incorporations from your state. Figure out what it costs to set up a business in your state. In Georgia, it's pretty simple. You can go to, ga.gov or something, and, or just type in like the incorporations of Georgia, fill it out, try to figure out exactly what your business is, and then, your business name, and fill out who the corporate governors are in your business, whether you're the only person, set it up as an LLC or a partnership or sole proprietor, whatever it is, and so that you can get incorporated with the state. Once you get incorporated with the state, then you get set up with a tax identification number from the U.S. government if you're in the United States. And you do that, you set up your state tax ID, and then you get your incorporation articles of incorporation from your state. You can go to a bank and get a checking account. Now you have a bank account for your business, and I would suggest that be like your publishing company, right? So you're a writer and you have a publishing company. Now, if you're with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, any performing rights organization, every song that you register, you're gonna have to register it as your company and as your writer. Don't make, if you just register it as yourself as a writer, you're not going to get, you're only getting 50% of what you're owed. 50% also goes to the company. And when you do a publishing deal and, you get signed to a major publishing company or something like that, the publishing company is only signing your company. They're not signing you as a person. And so the writer share, the writer's part of your publishing, of your works, of your registration will always come back to you. The publishing and your company part will always go to the company, which sometimes goes to a major label if they're a major publishing company, if that gets signed up. So if you have that, right? If you have your company, you have your writer, you start registering your works, you'll make sure that, as a producer, if you didn't sample or whatever, you would most likely get 50% of a song. And you can register your works with BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, whatever, even if you don't have a song completed or a record or with an artist and you've done a song. The only issue is if you do a beat and you get it to an artist and it becomes a song, it's an entire new registration. And so if you want to make sure that you feel good, you want to just go ahead and do your works and submit them to the copyright office, and you can submit those as a whole, like a compilation. You can put a whole bunch of beats in a zip file, compress that zip file, and upload that for I think about $50 something to the copyright office to get your a copyright for all of those specific tracks. And so that way you'll have your copyrights registered with the copyright office. You'll have a bank account, and you'll start registering your stuff with a performing rights organization. So when stuff starts to played out in radio, TV, film, wherever, you'll be getting paid. Whew, hopefully that helped. Man, I am Mr. Moss with the $5 super chat. Man, y'all coming through today. Appreciate y'all. Your approach to partnering with content creators and music tech platforms. Launching hbcuradio.com and want to host your channel as a station. Wow. You know, when it comes to doing collaborations and, you know, trying to build with different platforms, I'm always down for it. It just starts with a relationship, and we've already started that. So I mean, that's awesome. I mean, if it's something that, you know, you want to build with, trying to get, you know, my platform to help your platform, let's start having a conversation. Let's do lunch. I mean, let's figure this out. So my man, Mr. Moss, I appreciate you. Okay. Eamon Fuller Berry. Any advice for new producers starting their career? While the internet is a great tool as far as beat pages, it is flooded market. It is a flooded market, and locking in with one artist negates a lot of potential avenues. I've talked about this earlier on this live, but you got to make sure that you're doing as much as possible. Yes, online is flooded and it's, you know, oversaturated, and people are trying to do it left and right just like you're trying to do it. And if you're trying to work with an artist, you might be locked in with that artist and you're not sure if you're putting all your eggs in one basket. The issue is, if you don't try to do as much as you can, you definitely won't get as far as you want to go. Like, everybody has to realize right now, like, if you're not you know, competing online, where are you competing? You know what I mean? Where are you putting your stuff out there? Because that's where everybody is. That's where everybody's putting their money. That's where everybody is listening and building fans and building brands. So you gotta compete. Like, it's flooded, it's oversaturated, but you gotta find ways for yourself to stick out. You know, if you want to be, you know, somebody's like want to be a type beat type producer and make beats like a certain type of artist, maybe you got to dive in a little deeper in the type of sound or the type of whatever you're trying to do to make your name out there. Maybe you just got to be consistent. Maybe you got to more consistent. Maybe you got to figure out a different way to you know, to advertise yourself or to promote yourself. Maybe you got to find new ways to get yourself out there as far as like building collaborations with other peers. You know, I've said this before, you know, most big cities have a school with music programs, you know, some type of college, some type of place where there's a lot of kids trying to do things and trying to get on. And, you know, that's a great place to collaborate and find others like yourself to get, you know, to basically get started and get going. But my advice is to try to do as much as possible. The main thing you got to do is have good time management, you know, every day, trying to figure out all the things that you can do every day, and just have discipline. When you have discipline, when you set goals, when you try to stay consistent and you're focused on building relationships, and, you know, you just bring God into the process and believe that it's all possible, man, things start to work. And trust me, that is coming from somebody who's basically pivoted and started a whole new brand and start to see this thing flourish. So yeah, man, hopefully that helps. Let me keep going. Wow. Yeah, so man, you know, when it comes to hold on, I'm sorry. Thank you all for still tuning in. You know, all that's checked in. I got about 10 more minutes to answer questions or whatever. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate all the dope questions and all the love going back and forth in the chat. It's a really great thing to be able to spread knowledge like this and to be able to give as much as I can. And so for anybody that is out there trying to start a channel, trying to, get in front of this camera like this, man, give it all away. Like, give all the goods away, because it'll always just come back and you'll always learn more. Like, if you give away all the knowledge that you've obtained on any subject that you can talk about without trying to hold back your little tips and tricks, you'll just have to go find more to give back again. And that'll only build your knowledge base. That'll only build yourself up. And it'll just create a whole a community of people who truly believe in you and truly look towards you for your advice, for all the things that you're talking about, just because you give it away so freely. If you got a lot of knowledge, if you got a lot of things that you know about, just give that away. If that's how you're supposed to build your brand, like, there's no other way to do it. That's how you're really gonna get ahead and really build a great following, subscriber base, whatever it is you're trying to do. Back to the questions. Can I borrow a G? Golly, who are you? No, I'm just messing. What's up, man? X Amazing. What's happening? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Camera setup. People keep asking about the camera setup. Once again, it's the GH5 going into the Sigma 18 to 35 lens, going into my cam link. It's a little adapter that goes into my computer, and I'm using the OBS software on my Mac and using that to stream live to YouTube. And it's giving me the same type of quality that almost the same type of quality as my as my videos would do that I normally upload. Man, yeah. So when it comes to constructive criticism and people that are going to be on your channel, you know what I mean, that are going to engage with you, going to give you feedback, listen. You're not your ego might get in the way. You might people might ask you the same questions over and over. But they might be new. They might not know that you have everything that you have to offer or whatever it is. I mean, like, make sure that you can, give positive feedback to as many people on your comments and engage as much as possible, because people are going to, give you praise. People are going to hate. But also, make sure you get some haters. Make sure you ain't popping if you ain't got no haters. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to build that up. You got to find those who really just go into your videos, go into your chats just to, not show love and just to see what the hell you got going on. But give back to them as well, because, you might turn a hater to a congratulator. I'm not going to say that again. That was whack. Okay, Dame Fame, $9.99 again. Lord have mercy, y'all, blessing me with the super chats today, my brother. Thanks again. I appreciate the advice. Keep going. Appreciate the advice. Keep going. I will take the feedback and build. Also, thank you to BD Nowden. The advice is much appreciated. I salute you. My brother Dame Fame, thank you again. Thank you for tuning in. And if y'all don't know, once again, my man BD is my right-hand man. He's down there in the comments going ham right now, giving just as much knowledge. And so look for him in the chats, because we talk 5 times a day about everything. And I'm trying to make sure I talk to the lens. Make sure you holler at him, follow him at now_den on his platform. That is my right hand. And we'll make sure we try to get as much information to y'all as possible. So let's keep it going. A few more minutes. Cam link is not for phones only. Okay, hold on. Let me see if y'all can see this. Try to pull this out without pulling the cord out. This is the cam link. This is the little device. You see this piece right here? Hold on. That's the cam link. I got the HDMI cable coming in, and it's going out to the computer. That's the cam link. That's what's connecting the computer. That's what's connecting the camera to the computer. Boom. But yeah, man, thank everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Super chats, regular questions, super questions. It's all the same, man. I'm just trying to make sure that we can help each other get to that next level, because people ask like, yo, like, I mean, how do you feel about, doing all of this YouTube stuff, and, like, how is it affecting, you being a professional musician or whatever? And I'm like, yo, this is some of the best shit I've ever done. To be able to connect with so many people from around the world and try to help them get further along as I help myself get further along, there's nothing better. And so that's why I love to do that. That's why I love to do these lives. We probably need to do this more often, and so that I can continue to build with y'all, continue to know and learn your names. And, we can continue to build this whole platform together. You know what I mean? Let me answer some more joints. Angel Riante, I hope that I said that right. I'd love to make my own intros and simple background music. I sing and understand music theory, but I'm not a producer. What iPad program would you suggest for beginners? Now, if you're wanting to for beginners, to be quite honest, GarageBand is a great way to start. Apple lays it out so easily for you to be able to record yourself, to be able to, kind of come up with some ideas. And if you don't have your ideas, if you don't have your own beats, there's so many people that are putting music out there online for free, as well as for, very inexpensively. So if you go to maybe a site like looperman.com, that's looperman.com, they have a lot of free sounds, a lot of free like beats that people are putting up there that they want people to use and get feedback on and stuff like that. You can use a lot of those sounds, a lot of those ideas, a lot of those tracks for your own stuff. And if you want to step it up, maybe you use a website like Epidemic Sound. They're subscription based, but they can give you a lot of music there that you can play around with and create your own intros and your own background music and all of that. But if this is going to become a revenue making business for you, you got to invest, period. And so regardless if you're investing in your camera gear, or you're investing in, your sounds, or your, subscriptions that help you get there, it's a business, and you got to invest. So, that's what I would do. And I would try to use GarageBand to try to get my chops up. And if you can move up from there, I would go to probably Cubasis 2. That's Cubasis 2, Cubasis 2. Yeah. Rocky Miller with the $1. Thank you, my G. I appreciate you. I appreciate the super love chat. Thank you. Man. So yes, no, the cam link is not connected to my M50. The cam link is connected to my GH5. The reason why is the GH5 has extremely better video quality, and also it has a full HDMI plug in it. So it's very simple for me to hook up and connect like this. And hopefully I don't run the battery out again. Yeah. Man. And so, yeah, man, once again, thank you guys all for tuning in, once again, thank you to my man BD in the comments. My brother's all the way on the other side of town, but he's holding me down. It's been good. It's been great. I wish I could hear y'all, but I can't. So I just gotta keep listening to myself talk. It's all good, man. Listen. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much. Seneca Tyree, yo, $5 on the super chat. Love, thank you, my brother. Yo, I'm ready to work. Just saying. And my wife, you're the light skinned version of me. That's what's up. Hey, I will be the light skinned version of you all day if that's what it is. If you're like me, you are a great man. No doubt about that. My brother, hit me on my DMs at Henny the Bizness, and let's talk about what you're talking about. Let's just try to figure it out. But thank you guys so much, man. I thank you guys all for tuning in. I thank everybody for all the the comments, the chats, the super chats, man. All of this has been cool. Hopefully y'all got something out of this, my man. For all those that tuned in, thank you all so much. And I will catch you in the next one. And I'm out.
Thank you for watching Henny's Hangout Live. Love y'all.